I don't want to waste a single second of your guys' time, so here are the exact steps I would take if I wanted to start a business from scratch in the year 2025. Now, in order for me to provide the most amount of value for you guys in the shortest amount of time, this video will consist of 5 main steps. The first one being getting your habits in place, the second one being your niche selection, the third one being getting the systems and plans in place that you need to start this business, the fourth one will be setting your goals that you want to achieve with this business, and the fifth one will be how to do the work and actually just doing the hard work that needs to be done. So getting straight into the first step, this is going to be the one that talks about getting your habits in place and getting in the right mindset. This step is extremely important because it's what actually allows you to be able to focus and be able to work on your business for an extended period of time without getting distracted constantly and going back and scrolling on TikTok or eating junk food. So firstly, on the habit side of things, some things you can do to get in the right habits is setting a to-do list on like a whiteboard or on the Habits app, and you can basically map out all the things you want to do throughout the day. For example, at the top, it could be meditate 10 minutes a day. And then below that, it could be, pray twice if you're religious. And then below that, it could be read 20 pages of a book. And then below that, it's like take a cold shower, blah, blah, blah. Getting all the habits that you want to accomplish throughout the day, not necessarily business related, just things that are going to help you in your business. And you basically can just map out all the things you want to do. And this will really help you stay on track throughout your day and consciously be able to analyze if you got everything you wanted to get done that day done. Because in life, your habits really do define who you are. If you're someone who constantly scrolls on social media, eats junk food, lays in bed all day, then outside of those habits, you're going to become a person who does that. But for example, let's say you meditate every day and you take cold showers and you get up early in the morning, you're going to become a person who acts like someone who does those habits. Now, moving into the next step, which is selecting your business model or your industry, this is actually an extremely important step because let's say you select an outdated model or a business that doesn't suit your actual life, then suddenly it's going to become, thousands of times harder for you to succeed at that business. Whereas you could have chose the right vehicle to get you to a successful business and you could have actually achieved the results with almost way less effort and way quicker as well. So selecting the right one really comes down to, realizing what people need nowadays and also what you are able to do with your life. So like let's say I have a job that goes from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So and And let's say with this job, I don't have time to, sit at my desk at work and cold call local businesses. So that means that maybe the agency model might not be the best choice for me unless you have a workaround for that. And then let's say also from 6 p.m. to let's say 10 p.m., I have complete free time. Like I work at that job, but after those normal working hours, I have complete free time. I'm able to do whatever I want. That means you can choose a business that might not necessarily need working hours, like cold calling. You don't really want to call people after 5 p.m. because they're going to be pretty unhappy because that's usually the time they get to spend with their family. But let's say drop shipping, for example, you don't need to have to work during standard working hours. You can, do product research, build a website, make videos any time of the day. It could be 1 a.m., it could be 5 p.m., anytime. It doesn't matter. You can still do the things that you need to do for drop shipping. So maybe drop shipping is now the model you choose. But then you also have to play in factors like the economic side of things. For example, the tariffs that are going on at the time of this video being made. You would have to think like, oh, is drop shipping really the best thing to do right now with the tariffs and having to, import products from China and everything? To do with this step is plan out when you're able to work on your business, what times during the work week, what time during the weekend, and what you're able to do during this time and what you want to accomplish during this time. So, for example, if you have a job that you need to work to make money, you have to think, am I able to work on my business before the working hours of this job, so early in the morning? And am I able to do it to work on it in the afternoon after my job is over, or do I have breaks during that job? And then within these time periods that you have to work on your business, you have to also plan out and think, what am I able to do during this time? So for example, if I have a break during lunch that I'm able to get some work done, and let's say I'm doing organic drop shipping, so I need to make videos for TikTok and Instagram and whatever. I just use that as an example because it's a pretty standard business. and a lot of people do it, so it's kind of easy to make examples out of it. But let's say during this lunch break, I want to make creative videos. I want to make videos for my product. That might not be the smartest thing to do during this time because your office is going to be a pretty bland and boring space and not very visually appealing for the videos. So maybe instead you could choose the morning when maybe the sun is rising to film these creatives instead of choosing that office time. And maybe during the office time, instead of filming the videos, you can switch that to maybe improving, your social media page with your bio and improving your website. And basically, you need to map out, when you're able to work and what's the best thing related to your business that you can do during these times that you're working in. Now, moving into the second to last step, this is going to be setting your goals for your business and like the things you want to accomplish. And I see so many people do this wrong time and time again. They set goals like, I want to make $1 million by 2026. And then that time comes around that they don't have $1 million and they start to panic. And there's a good example of this with World War II and with prisoners of war. There was a type of prisoner over here who was like, the war needs to end in 2 months, and I need to get out of jail out of the prison camp in 2 months. And I know that's going to happen. I need that to happen. And then there was the other type of prisoner over here who was like, I don't know when the war is going to end, but I know it's going to end eventually, and I know I'm going to be free. And for the prisoner over here, when that time came around that he expected the war to end and it didn't happen, he would start panicking and his life started turning poorly. But the one over here, he just waited patiently and did the things he needed to do at the camp. And eventually the war ended as he expected it to and as he believed it would, and he was free. So you can kind of use this same example for your goals that you're setting. People are super bad with setting, time specific goals, and they're bad with handling time. So you can't be, setting these super like hyper specific, I need to make $100,000 by March 21st in 2026 or whatever. You need to set more short-term goals that build up into long-term goals. For example, if you're drop shipping, I'm going to use this as an example again, just because it's super simple to understand. You could start out with, first, I need to get my first sale. And then maybe I need to get my first 10 sale week, and then build that up slowly to maybe 100 sales a month, and then 1,000 sales a month, and then maybe your first 10K month, and then your first 10K day. Eventually, just slowly build your goals up, and don't just start with this crazy, like super wild, $1 million a month or whatever goal, because there's just going to be months going by, and you're going to start panicking that you haven't achieved that goal. Okay, now for the final step on this list on how to start a business in 2025, and it's probably expected that this step is going to be what I'm about to say it is, but it's just doing the hard work that you need to do every single day consistently in order to make this business work. And I know it's so cliche, everyone says it, but in reality, it's the only thing you actually need. Because you can meditate every day, you can take cold showers every day, you can get up at 4 a.m. every day, you can, journal what you want to do every day, write all your tasks down. But until you actually, do your tasks and you actually work hard on your business every single day, nothing's going to happen. And trust me, I love meditating. I love cold showers. I love all that stuff. It's great for you. But you also have to prioritize the work. You can't just do that stuff. All right, that's really all I have for you guys today. I know this was a pretty normal raw video, but it really is all you need to start a business in 2025, no matter what someone trying to sell a course tells you. You just have to follow the basics, do the work that needs to be done, choose the right vehicle to get you to success, and you'll be set. So also join the free Discord that's in my bio. There's some entrepreneurs in there. You can always ask me a question. I ask the Discord a daily question every day, just to keep it moving, so you can answer that, and I always respond to every answer. But peace out.